In today's Adobe Illustrator tutorial, you will learn how to create 80s retro poster design with futuristic car. You will see how to use gradient tool to add volume to your artwork, make it rich and interesting. To create this old-school racing car, we'll basically use only pen tool and gradient tool. Then we'll use the same gradient tool to make ground and sky, we'll create grid with grid tool and perspective distort tool, use pathfinder to make sun, and even we'll create our own custom brush to draw stars all over the sky. After this tutorial, you will understand how to better use gradient tool and apply it to your own artworks to make them look live and colorful. You're watching TNT tutorials? Let's move on and create a new document. Select Print, A4, Horizontal Orientation, in Advanced Options select RGB and click Create. You can download this image reference, sketch and color guides by the link in the video description. Just create layers for them, place them like so. Then lock reference and colors layers. Don't lock sketch layer for now. Drag this guide from here to center of this image. Then lock this layer. Create new layer. Rename it to car. I for eyedropper tool. And pick any color you want. I will pick this one. P for pen tool. Click here to swap fill and stroke. And let's just redraw this sketch with pen tool. Hold Shift to build straight line. To build curved line, hold Alt. Drag handle from this point like so. Then hold your left mouse button, don't release it, drag it like so, Alt, move this handle here, click here, hold Shift to build straight line, and connect these points. When you have created your object, V for selection tool and click somewhere to deselect it. Then to create two objects from one object, P for pen tool, create line like this, V for selection tool, select all these lines, Shift plus M for shape builder, and click on this part. Now we have two parts. Let's create another one. Hold Shift to build straight line. Select these two. Shift plus M, and click on this part. Another part created. Select nearby objects. Shift plus M, and click on this part. Select this line and nearby objects. Shift plus M, and create another object. To create curved line, just drag your mouse like so. Drag it here also, hold Alt, move this handle here, now click here, and connect these points. After we will fill these layers with color, we will simply move this layer behind this one, and this part won't be visible. So sometimes you can create shapes just like this. To move points, A for direct selection tool, pick point, and move it. Use smart guides also, sometimes they will help you a lot. In this case I will connect these points, but I could also use shape builder. It's up to you to decide which way to choose. Now in this case I will simply create thin line, like this. Properties panel, and change stroke width. I will change it to 5 points. Your value can be different. Now click on stroke, align stroke, to inside, A for direct selection tool, and bring these points here, to snap another points. I will also move these ones. If you need to align some points, these two for example, just select them, Properties panel, Line, and let's apply vertical align button. Let's continue. Let's change stroke width to 1 point again. A for direct selection tool, and move points. Let's make sure that these points are aligned. You can select few points from different objects like this. Hold Shift, select this one, and let's align them. Yes, they were not aligned, but now they are okay. Just use Shift to build this curved line like so. Select these shapes, Shift plus M, click on this part. Now we have two different objects here. Start to build this shape from this point, then click here, drag it like so, hold Alt, bring this handle here, it will snap to this line, and simply close this shape. Let's connect these points like so. We will simply bring this layer down after we will fill another layers with color. Let's create rectangle here. round corners just a bit, hold Alt, Shift also, duplicate this one like so, Ctrl D to make another copy. Let's place another one here. Let's build another rectangle here. A for direct selection tool, pick these 2 points, round corners like this, then V for selection tool, deselect this object, select it again, in Properties panel, Offset Path. Sometimes you can't pick Offset Path in Properties panel, so just go to Object Path Offset Path, and you will always be able to pick it. Preview, -5 for example. OK, let's change proportions like this. A for direct selection tool, select this corner and this one. Now let's round them just a little bit more. Offset path again. Select these points and round corners. Now let's build another object here. Hold Shift and drag these handles to make really smooth line. Create it like so. Then V for selection tool, hold Alt and make a copy. P for pen tool and connect these points. You can connect these ones also. Now create another rectangle, round corners, and it's time to delete our sketch. Reflect these objects, unite them, and apply colors. So target this layer, O for reflect tool, hold Alt, click on some of these central points, preview, and click on copy. If something went wrong, just pick A for direct selection tool, pick all these central points, Properties panel, and align them. For example, pick horizontal align right. After this, deselect these objects, select them again, O for reflect tool, hold Alt, central point, and click on copy. Now to unite these layers, just select each one of them, Shift plus M for shape builder, and drag it like so. The same for other objects. Now with these ones, we don't want to pick this one and this one in one time, so let's make sure that we're picking right layers. Now select these ones. If you can't pick layers that you need, for example we need these 2 layers, just select all layers, hold Shift and delete unnecessary layers from selection. Now we have only these 2 layers selected, Shift plus M, and unite them. If you've decided to change something after you united these layers, for example you want to change something here, just pick this layer, change it, then select these points, simply delete them, deselect this object, select it again, O for reflect tool, hold Alt, click on central point and click on copy. Then unite this object again. Let's apply gradients according to this reference. Just pick this layer for example, double click on gradient tool, pick linear gradient, click on stroke here and click None. Then make fill active again, select this marker, click here for color picker, pick this color, then pick this marker, pick this one, move this marker to the center, hold Alt, and duplicate this marker to the left. Let's add more volume to this object, duplicate it like this, right-click, arrange, send to back. Let's change its color to this one, place it like so. You can make it smaller, like this, P for pen tool, the same here. Select these objects, this line also, Shift plus M, and drag shape builder like so, the same here. Now you might want to delete layer that is left behind, select all these layers, deselect this one, and delete this layer. Sometimes to pick gradient, it's enough to pick object, I for eyedropper tool, and pick this gradient for this one. Let's do the same here. Let's pick the settings for this one also, but let's just delete this marker, place this one here, G for gradient tool, and place gradient tool like so. You can play with markers. To make gradient more contrast, place markers closer to each other. Now select this object, pick these settings, select this marker, color picker, pick this color, and for this marker, pick this one. Change gradient direction to this. Right-click, arrange, send to back. To apply gradients to this line, select it, Object, Expand Appearance. Now this is not line anymore. P for Pen tool. Draw shape like this. I for eyedropper. Pick these settings. G for Gradient tool. Change direction to this. If you have applied gradient to object and you want to edit it, just select this object again, G for Gradient tool, and change it. Let's create another object here. G for Gradient tool. If you want to reverse gradient, you can just click here, Reverse Gradient. I will move this layer down, Arrange, Send to back. I for eyedropper, pick these settings, G for Gradient tool, and change direction. Now let's just select them all. O for Reflect tool, hold Alt, and click on Central Point. Click on Copy, pick these two, Shift plus M, and unite them. The same with these two. Now select this one, drag this marker to center, hold Alt and duplicate this marker to the right. Select this layer, I for eyedropper, and pick these settings. Pick this layer and simply apply dark color. The same with this one. Select this object, eyedropper tool, pick these settings, G for Gradient tool. Sometimes you simply might want to make some color brighter or some colors darker. In this case, double-click on marker, and the best way to change contrast or lightness of your color is to click here on Color, click here, and select HSB mode. Here you can apply darkness, and here you can apply lightness. Let's make this one lighter, pick this layer, and apply dark color. For this one, eyedropper tool, pick these settings, G for Gradient tool, and change it like this. Now let's fill this part with black color, I for eyedropper tool, pick dark color, P for Pen tool, create shape like this. Right-click, Arrange, Send to back. Pick this layer, I for eyedropper, pick this gradient, G for Gradient tool. The same here. As I told you, just select this layer, right-click, Arrange, Send to back. Pick this one, dark color, and Send to back also. Pick these layers, simply apply this color, select these two, apply dark color. Select this layer, I for eyedropper, pick these settings, right-click, Arrange, bring to front, G for Gradient tool, and change direction. Select this layer, delete it, select this object, O for Reflect tool. We have central point on this object, hold Alt, click on it, copy, pick this layer, pick these settings, and pick following dark colors for these markers. V for Selection tool, G for Gradient tool. Let's select these two layers, apply dark color also, select this one, pick these settings, G for Gradient tool, change direction to this. Let's delete all of these here, select these ones, O for Reflect tool, central point, hold Alt, click on it, copy. The same with this one. Select these two layers, arrange, send to back. Apply following gradients for headlights, stroke, click on None. You can pick these two objects, pick these settings, and just apply different colors. To make headlights look more interesting, pick Line Segment tool, it's over here. Just draw a line like this, Properties panel, change stroke to 3 points, duplicate this stroke, select them both, select Blend tool, click on this stroke, then on this one, press Enter on your keyboard, select Preview, and specified steps. Let's enter 4 for example. After you enter some value, click on Preview and click on it again. Now Properties panel, click on Opacity, change Blending mode to Soft Light, and if you have similar result and you want to make it darker, just double click on Stroke and pick some really dark color. Now let's just simply duplicate these lines like this. You could also just create one headlight with applied gradients and blended lines, and then just simply duplicate it and change colors for your gradients. Pick this one, I for eyedropper, and pick these settings. G for gradient tool. If it not works, that means that stroke is selected, so select your fill, and then you will be able to work again. Duplicate these lines here. Now group each other of them. Delete these ones here, and duplicate these ones to the right. To draw palm on this plate number, press N for pencil tool, then press Enter on your keyboard, move this marker here, make sure that these options are selected, click OK, and then just draw shapes like this. Keep it simple. I for eyedropper tool, pick dark color. If you see that you have too many points, deselect this object first, then select it again, Object, Path, Simplify. Click on Preview, play with these values. You should have as less points as possible, so I will leave these results, OK. When you have handles such close as here, just hold Alt and move each handle like so. Pick point, hold Alt, and move handles. Then you will be able to move them without holding Alt. To delete unnecessary points, P for Pen tool, and just click on points. If you want to make sharp corner, pick point, hold Alt, and move handles like so. I will rotate this object like this, deselect it, N for pencil tool, draw a shape like this, pick this color, P for pen tool, delete unnecessary points, select these two objects, in Pathfinder click Unite, then P for pen tool, draw a shape like this, O for reflect tool, hold Alt, click on this point. If you see something like this, that means that you need to deselect this object first, select it again, and reflect it. I will unite these two objects also, pick this one, reflect it like so, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-F, make them smaller, and place them here. Shift+O, and change outboards like so. I will show you how to create composition to be able to change its size and proportions anytime. Let's begin with this size, lock this layer, these ones also, create new layer, rename it to ground, pick this color first, rectangle tool, and draw it like so. Now double click on gradient tool, select radial gradient, pick following colors from ground group. I will click reverse gradient, zoom out, drag this point to make this gradient bigger, then drag this point to make oval from this ellipse. I will also use this marker, drag this point to increase size of this gradient. You should have similar results. Now let's create grid. You can find rectangular grid tool here. I will drag it to this panel. Select it, press Enter, and we'll enter 20 here and 20 here. OK. Now let's just draw it like this. Align it to the center. I'll make it smaller. Then press E on your keyboard. You will see this little menu. Select Perspective Distort and drag these points like so. V for Selection tool. Change proportions. Let's apply this color for grid. Click here to swap fill and stroke. We don't need to cut these parts, because I will show you example of how to do this image any size you want, horizontal or vertical. So we will leave these parts and will simply create clipping mask at the end. Let's make car layer invisible for now. L for ellipse tool. Draw ellipse like this. Click here to swap fill and stroke. Select radial gradient. For this marker, pick this color. I will click reverse gradient. Now pick this gradient slider, pick the same color, and change opacity to 0%. Now V for Selection tool, change proportions like so, zoom out, place it here, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F, make this copy smaller like so, make it more blurred, then Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F again, make this one even smaller, and apply white color to this gradient slider. Double-click on this slider, color, and pick white color. I will play with this marker just a bit. Properties panel, opacity, change blending mode to soft light. If you want to make this line brighter, just press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F. But I will leave it as it is. Just don't forget to leave the same pink color for this gradient slider to have smooth transition between these colors. Let's select these three layers, Ctrl+G to group. Create new layer, rename it to Sky, bring this layer down like so, M for rectangle tool, draw rectangle like this, double click on gradient tool, select linear gradient, select this marker, pick first color, then click here to add more markers, pick next color, another marker, another color, and pick this color for the last marker. V for Selection tool, G for Gradient tool, drag Gradient tool like so, and play with markers to make smooth transitions. Ctrl+2 to lock it. As you can see, we've locked this layer. Let's create sun. L for ellipse tool. Draw ellipse like so. Pick this color for now. Now just create one rectangle here, like so. Duplicate it like this. Make this copied rectangle smaller. Then select them both. Blend tool. Click on this one, then on this one. Enter, preview, specified steps, and enter 6 for example. Click OK. If you like these results, you can leave it. If you want to change proportions of some lines, just deselect all of them. A for Direct Selection tool, pick this one for example. V for Selection tool, and change proportions like so. Other lines will be changed automatically. Select these lines, Object, Expand. OK. Now select this one also, and in Pathfinder, click to minus front. Then double-click on Gradient tool, Linear Gradient, change direction to this, and pick following colors for sun. Alright, so now let's lock this layer also. Lock ground layer, and let's create custom brush for stars. Just draw ellipse like this, pick this color, draw another one, and pick this color. Now make them really small, even smaller, and now just make copies like this. Don't place them too close to each other. Now make some of them even smaller. You can simply change proportion for each one of them, just to make more random look. I think I will stop on this result. Now select them all. Ctrl+G to group. Now click on Window, Brushes. Click on New Brush, Scatter Brush, OK. Rename it to Stars. Change All Fixed to random. Click OK. I will make this layer invisible. I won't delete it, because if you won't like your brush, you will be able to make it visible again, change something here, and then simply create new brush and delete previous. So let's press B for brush and try to draw stars. Let's continue. Just fill gaps like so. We'll place the stars behind sun. You can even simply click to fill some gaps. To add more random look to your stars, just don't draw them like this. Make lines like so. You can move all these lines, delete them, and change them with Direct Selection tool. Let's unlock sun layer and bring it up, like so. Then lock it again, select stars, and press Ctrl G. Now to hide all these parts, unlock all these layers, create new layer, M for rectangle tool, fill or stroke really doesn't matter, build rectangle like this, select all layers, right-click, make clipping mask. Now you can delete unnecessary layers. If you want to edit something within this clipping mask, just double-click on it, just pick any layer you want and edit it. If you will need to regroup something, select all these layers, hold Shift, deselect unnecessary layers, and then press Ctrl G to group. Double-click to exit this mode. Now to change proportions of your image, you can pick A for Direct Selection tool, select your clipping mask frame, V for Selection tool, change proportions, like this for example, double-click on your clipping mask. You have your frame here, so if you don't want to pick it with Direct Selection tool, you can simply select it here, change proportions, then pick ground layer for example. If you don't want to see artboards, go to View, Hide Artboards. Now you can add more stars here. Like so. Select Grid, make it even wider. Now let me show you how to create some kind of VHS effect. Create new layer, Line Segment tool, draw one line here, duplicate it, select them both, Properties panel, change stroke width, change color to white, Blend tool, click on this line, then on this one, enter, preview, specified steps, enter 40 for example. I think this will work for us. Click OK, opacity, soft light, then change opacity to 25% for example. So as you can see, gradients can destroy your artwork and make it look cheap if you don't know how to handle with them, or can bring your design to the next level if you use gradient tool properly. Today we used almost the same settings for gradient tool to color this 80s retro design poster and old school racing car, used grid tool, perspective distort tool, pen tool, and created custom brush. If you learned something new from this tutorial, drop a comment below and let me know if everything was clear enough for you. If you enjoyed this tutorial, support this channel by clicking on subscribe and what's most important, by clicking on the bell icon to get notifications about newest tutorials from TNT. I would also appreciate if you'll click thumbs up and will share this video. This was TNT Tutorials. See you in next videos.